Gerald Celente is going to be our guest for the balance of the hour. Always look forward to Gerald joining us. We'll be talking to him here in just one moment. Some of the stories online now at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Christina Sarich has an article. Politicians silence 9-year-old over posting photos of school lunch. Do you want to know what some kids are being served at school every day? A classic example of tyranny. And it goes through the fact that the school says you're not allowed to take photos of the food that the school has, and you're going to get in trouble if you continue that. And that sounds like something innocuous. Who cares? Well, then they can feed them prison-style food if that's the case. And by the way, the photo of the hamburgers we have on there is not the school food. The school food looks like prisoner food when you go look at the photos. And it's reversing the Michelle Obama boondoggle all over the country that people can see the photos. So their answer is don't make it high-quality food or end federalization of the food. No, just end free speech. Interesting article, The Forecaster. Can this computer predict the future? The government certainly thinks so. Articles at Infowars.com. And it goes over the fact that the feds seized, after 10 years of economic forecaster Martin Armstrong sat in federal prison, they seized a computer system he came up that they believe has an algorithm that can predict the future. Folks, Google can predict the future now with mass movements. Facebook can predict it. You get enough tens of millions of people simultaneously, it gives you, in mass movements, true predictability. How do you think Amazon can individually know what you're going to order now before you order and have it being packaged before you even buy it? Or now Pizza Huts are coming out with iPads in the wall that face scan your retina as you look at the menu, and then it decides and tells you what you wanted to order. Just like Google gives you predictive searches tailored to what you want. This is how they're going to manipulate society and then actually start telling you you want something when you don't. Talk about laziness. Talk about mind control. Those articles are up at Infowars.com. Another story that I want to get Gerald Celente's take on first, then the economy, Russia, the world, and his top trends for 2015 that he's going to preview here for us with his TrendsJournal today. Zuckerberg lauds socialism with China's internet censorship czar. Facebook CEO visit with Liu Wei, hypocritical and absurd. Now, this is a guy praising them when they literally have people arrested and executed for using the internet improperly, they claim. And now they're trying to learn. Obama's been meeting with them how to do this here. Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, that calls his users dumb effers for trusting him, lauded the virtues of socialism during a recent meeting with Liu Wei, the czar of China's draconian internet censorship system. We can scroll down and show you a nice picture of him as Mao Zedong. Having previously met with a State Department official, Katharina Novelli, who urged the two countries to work together as friends on web security, that means ending free speech, we paid a visit to Facebook Silicon Valley offices, despite the fact that the social networking website is completely banned in China. During the meeting, we discovered a book written by Chinese President Xi Jinping called The Governance of China, sitting on Zuckerberg's office desk, leading Zuckerberg to comment, I bought this book for my coworkers. I want them to understand socialism with Chinese characteristics, and went on to praise it. Truly sickening. Let me give you the Chinese characteristic of that. Most generals there are billionaires. And there's no social network when people chain their kids up, their toddlers up, when they go work in the slave factories, building robots that are now going to replace them. Here's the headline, National Review. China's promises to end harvesting the executed. I remember about 10 years ago, the State Department came out and said it was a rumor, even though the Communist Chinese advertise in trade publications that they have, quote, fresh organs. Whatever you need. And they keep the Falun Gong peaceful practitioners that are healthy, genetically and blood tested, in prison cells, waiting for when Richie Rich wants to show up and get the goodies. You don't hear the trendies complaining about that. See, when there's pressure on the organ harvesting, just come out and call it a conspiracy theory, even though the BBC now has this headline, China has promised to stop harvesting organs from executed prisoners by January 1st, state media reports. Death row inmates have long served as a key source of transplants. Here's the promise, but it's not the first. They've done it many times. We take you now to Kingston, New York, site of the start of the American Revolution, and Gerald Celente joining us via video Skype. Gerald, thanks for coming on. We're going to cover the waterfront today. I want to get into a whole bunch of stuff, but what do you make of this hypocrisy and Zuckerberg calling people dumb efforts? What do you make of Gruber admitting Obamacare is a giant screw job? I mean, you've worked as a consultant, as a lobbyist, as Fortune 500 guy. Why are these people so arrogant? You always speak to the white shoe boys and the Harvard Mafia. Well, that's where he's from, and now he's over at MIT producing lies to fool the American people. Why would he brag? Why would Zuckerberg brag? What's their problem?
Why are sociopaths and psychopaths? And going back to Zuckerberg talking about socialism in China, could anyone say communism? That's what it is. And remember who sold us out and when. It began with Bill Clinton. And as I keep thinking about this, and I keep thinking about that little grubby Gruber talking about how stupid we are and how they could pull things over our eyes. Also, Alex, I used to run political campaigns in Westchester County at a graduate school back in the early 1970s, and I was the assistant to the Secretary of the New York State Senate. So I was right there. I was sitting in the back of the chamber with Malcolm Wilson, who was the governor, my boss, Al Abrams, nice guy, and the head of the Republican Party, John Anderson. So I was right there. I saw what it looked like. I know the game. I know the way it's run. And what's going on is the system is being run by lowlifes who are, to me, nothing more than traitors to America. They are all traitors. Slick Willie Clinton, a traitor for selling us out to the Chinese with NAFTA, for selling us out with the other traitor, Robert Rubin, who deregulated the Glass-Steagall Act that allowed the banks to steal all our dough. Traitors, this guy Gruber. You could keep going after one after another and go back again to Zuckerberg, talking about China. Let's go back to 2 weeks after 9/11. Go look at what oil prices were back then. They were in the $20 a barrel range. And then when everybody wasn't looking, and the CIA liars, and I love the words that they use, the prostitute language. Remember, Alex, we always have to be proper because people don't like it when you're not proper. So we have to say the CIA misled. Misled? Grow up, Junior. They're liars. They lied us into the Afghan war. They lied us into the Iraq war. You remember those weapons of mass destruction and ties to Al-Qaeda. You remember that next mushroom cloud you see, Condoleezza Rice. Yeah, one liar after another. Now let's go back. 2 weeks after 9/11. Zap. Hey, Zuckerberg. China. They brought it into the World Trade Organization when no one was looking. And then you saw the increase in oil prices. You saw the phony boom start being built. They've sold us out. Clinton, Bush, Obama, Pelosi, Reid, McConnell, Graham, one after another. They are traitors to the Constitution, traitors to the Bill of Rights, traitors to America. All of these people are traitors, and they should be brought up on war criminal charges and treason against we the people and everything that we stand for.
I agree. And do you agree with me that clearly they're trying to start racial division and play the people off against the police when the police are obviously been federalized, a lot of bad stuff there, but the politicians want to get us all fighting with each other instead of realizing they're the enemy, and this is all a desperate tactic promoting all of this division.
Go back to our Spring Trends Journal. Went out 3 weeks before Ferguson. The article that we asked Dr. Paul Craig Roberts to write was Cops Gone Wild. How the police have gone wild in this country. It's more than a racial issue. It's an issue against we the people, that the traitors that have destroyed our Constitution and Bill of Rights with the so-called Patriot Act, with the National Defense Authorization Act, have robbed us of our rights and militarized our nation, particularly after 9/11. Racial? Hey, a racist nation? Are there racists in America? Of course there are. Hey, I'm an Italian American. You want to see discrimination? Hey, put on a show like The Sopranos with the Jewish people. Yeah, do one like that. Try it with the blacks. Hey, how about with the Spanish? Yeah, Rodriguez and Jose. Yeah, doing dirty deals. Try that one out. Are there racists? Are there bigots? Of course there are. Is America a racist nation? No. If we were a racist nation, Alex, would we have a black president? Hey, how about that attorney general? What color is he? I forgot about Condoleezza Rice. Remember her?
Stay there, Gerald Celente, and we'll give his website out when we come back. TrendsResearch.com, TrendsResearch.com. Alex Jones here, back live. Gerald Celente from TrendsResearch.com and the Trends Journal riding shotgun with us. And we're not being negative here, bringing up the bad things. The system always says, oh, don't get angry, don't be negative. There's so much good stuff in the world that's why I'm angry and upset. I want to defend it. I don't want to be a slave. But you really can't doubt the fact that tyranny's moving on all fronts. I've criticized the militarization of police. I've exposed it probably like nobody else. But then I can see the feds trying to come in and make every evil in the world about the police when it's worldwide. The federalization, the globalization, the militarization has been happening as criminal ruling classes move from free market to crony systems. Gerald Celente, I want to start getting into the top trends of 2015, your new journal that's just about to come out, that's just invaluable reading. I hope everybody goes to TrendsResearch.com and subscribes, or at least signs up for your free alerts and looks at the 2015 forecast. You're going to give us a first look here today. But in this short segment, what do you think the state of the world itself is? Obama says that he stabilized the world and that it's never been more secure. Hagel said the world's never been more insecure, so he fired him. What is the real state of the world overall in your view?
We're heading toward world war. It's blowing out all over the place. Anybody that's half awake and listening to and watching what's going on can see it. And I want to stay on this China issue again with Zuckerberg sucking up over there. Or Zuckerberg, maybe, would be more appropriate.
Yeah, Zuckerberg.
Zuckerberg.
Commie Zuckerberg.
There we go.
There you go.
And you look what's going on here and around the world. You go back to one of our top trends for 2014, China boomtown. America's in the business of war. China's in the business of business. They're buying up the world, and they're buying up America. Hey, folks, you like that? Obama always calls everybody folks. Yeah, folks. Folks, you like that Smithfield pork? Hey, owned by China, huh? Oh, yeah. Hey, how about that Waldorf Astoria in New York? Hey, Chinese just bought it for $2 billion, didn't they? Oh, where are they getting the dough? Yes. Just did another deal right here in New York. Only about $1 billion. Who's funding it? The Chinese the Chinese bank? Communist government. You go look what's going on over there in Portugal. You know, they're privatizing everything.
And my problem, I want to get into what real privatization is, but the Communist Chinese already every month I see where they're controlling TV shows, movies, what can be published. Michael Savage couldn't even get his book promoted anywhere. The publisher wouldn't promote it because the Chinese threatened him because he criticized. The Communist China is a big fat censor. That's my problem.
Well, again, they're communists. I grew up most of my life teaching us to hate communists. Hey, those Russians, they're no good. But those Chinese commies, our kind of guys. Gee, I wonder why. Couldn't be because of all of the American manufacturers that sold us out and brought all their cheap their product over there to be made by slave labor. So the Chinese communists are good commies. Oh, those Cubans, they're bad commies too. There's only good commies and bad commies. It's all about business, Alex. And that's what I want to talk about. The business of business is China, and China's buying up the world